Was because I was in this industry for 10 plus years. It was my 13th anniversary this year. I started at a very young age, and I had a lot of chance to, travel around the world, and I always thought that I had a story to tell. I thought my life was very unique, and I had a lot of, a lot of drama, a lot of competition, everything.
There are only a few siblings that have both become K-pop idols in the history of the industry. There's some that would come to mind, but probably the ones you would think of first are the Jung Sisters. One debuted in Girls' Generation, and the other debuted in FX. Now, how did these two sisters from America get discovered and went to take on the Korean music scene? Why did they leave their groups, and where are they now? We'll be covering all of that, but as I always like to say, before looking forward, I always like to look back. And before we continue, only 17% of people that watch my videos are subscribed. You already enjoyed the content, so why not subscribe and hit the bell so you don't miss a new What Happened video. Before we get started, I gotta let you guys know about Filmora Go. If you need to edit video for YouTube, Instagram, TikTok, whatever, real quick, and take your post to the next level, you need Filmora Go. You can find the app on the Apple App Store or Android Play Store. Filmora Go is an easy to use app where you can edit videos on the go. And if you take a look at the store, there are thousands of stickers, filters, transitions, and free music to use. Plus, Filmora Go updates frequently, so there's always something new to download and try. Take a look at what I made using Filmora Go and my, next level skills. So if you want to try it out, go to the link down below to download Filmora Go for free. Also, why not help them out by leaving a review on Google Play? Big thanks to Filmora Go, and now back to my video. So as many of you know, many K-pop idols have been discovered in interesting and unique ways aside from just auditioning for a company, because that's kind of boring now. That is how Jessica and Krystal were found. Born and raised in San Francisco, California in the US, where their parents settled down after moving from Korea in the 1980s. Growing up, the Jung Sisters didn't imagine a future in music until a family vacation to Korea in early 2000. Okay, get this, while just walking around a shopping mall, someone walked up to them saying they were from SM Entertainment and asked if they would be interested in auditioning for their K-pop label. I honestly don't know if they really knew about SM Entertainment and that SM was one of the biggest K-pop companies at the time, but Jessica was only 11 years old at the time.
So I started my career when I was scouted when I was 11.
And since she's 5 years older than her sister, that would make Krystal just 6. So they didn't take the initial offer to train under SM Entertainment since their parents turned it down because of how young their daughters were. After some time, they eventually agreed to have Jessica go and become a trainee. Krystal, however, would join much later in 2006, at a much more acceptable age of 12. Before any official debut, Krystal was more active than her sister as an actress in music videos and commercials in Korea. Now, Jessica trained in SM Entertainment for 7 years before being announced in SM's new girl group, being the first sister to debut in her own group, Girls' Generation.
I trained for 7 years, and my debut album was when I was 18 with a girl band.
2007 was the year this 9-member group made their appearance. Even from the very beginning, Girls' Generation was iconic with their debut song Into the New World, which is still covered today by rookie groups on shows. Jessica would be a part of the wild ride of Girls' Generation up to the tops of Korean music charts and international ones, with comeback after comeback striking gold.
Don't stop. Let's bring it back to 140.
Making a whole new name for themselves as the nation's girl group of Korea, a special pride of the country. Now let's jump to 2009, where Krystal would join her group and debut after 3 years of training. This was SM's newest girl group called FX. Stepping away from the traditional girl group look and sound pioneered by Girls' Generation, FX took on a more experimental image. Their debut, La Chata, not so much, but then we got songs like Chu, Nuabo, Danger. Even their bigger hits made your head tilt out of the confusion of what your ears were hearing, in a good way, with Hot Summer, Electric Shock, Rum Pum Pum, Red Light. Okay, now that I think of that, never mind. Basically, everything FX did was experimental and different each time. The Jung Sisters would eventually link up for a project of just the two. In fact, it was a reality show. The show, simply titled Jessica and Krystal, ran for only a couple months, but had higher ratings than previous shows that were on at a similar time. The show just followed them around on their trips to the US and Korea. Both sisters enjoyed their success in their groups and a bit on the individual projects, but in September of 2014, Jessica posted online talking about how she was kicked out of Girls' Generation. SM Entertainment would eventually mention that Girls' Generation will continue as 8 with the departure of Jessica. Later, Jessica would make another statement saying she was asked to leave, and sorry, till this day no one really knows the exact reason behind her sudden withdrawal from such a successful group. This of course leads to conspiracies as to why she was kicked out, from dating to her starting her own business, which SM didn't like since she would be making money independently. Since leaving Girls' Generation and SM and basically the whole K-pop world, Jessica has done way better for herself, from acting to writing, but what was more impressive is Blanc and Eclair. Her brand new fashion line. Starting in Seoul, South Korea, she worked to get locations across the world, including New York, Beijing, Hong Kong, Bangkok, Shanghai, Singapore, Taipei, Tokyo, and Vancouver. She turned it into a multi-million-dollar business. Now that is simply amazing. But somehow Jessica couldn't step away from singing altogether and made her return to K-pop, but solo this time. If there was a definition of a boss-ass bitch. Aside from focusing on her business, you can actually see Jessica regularly on her YouTube channel. So she's technically a YouTuber too, which means I could totally like collab on something, right? Like, I mean, we're basically same level, right? So just Jessica, Anyways, what about the youngest Jung sister? SM Entertainment drew out Krystal's time in FX towards the end of the group's contract, with very few promotions. And eventually, FX unofficially disbanded between 2016 and 2019. After FX, Krystal mainly focused on where it all started for her: acting. Krystal has racked up numerous credits as an actress in dramas, movies, and more projects in the works. Krystal too also left SM Entertainment finally in 2020 and signed with a new agency, H & Entertainment, which focuses on big-time actors and actresses. You know, after hearing all of this, I'm just waiting for the two of them to adopt me, you know. I filed the paperwork, you know, anytime soon. Growing up in the K-pop system is really difficult for younger trainees, but the Jung Sisters beat the odds because of one day at a shopping mall. Both found success in their own groups that many credit them with getting them into the great music genre we call K-pop. And while their careers as idols seem to be behind them, they're doing way better now and appear happier for it. And having a close sister relationship also helped.
It's really cool, and thank you for coming, Krystal.
I'm always here to support you.
If you ask them how they feel about everything right now, they would probably say they're right where they need to be.
That's
Hey, that was
it.
Yeah, that was all. Phew. Phew.